Welcome back to the Real Estate News. With me now is the lovely Geri Colucci with Equitable Property Management. Welcome, Geri.
Thank you. As usual, I'm glad to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to see you today,
Thank
and
you.
I love the topic we're talking about today because It's got the word relax in it, which is one of my favorite words. I don't get to practice it that often, but we're talking about relax and hire a property manager. So can you kind of give us some insight into what that actually means?
Well, the word relax is really important because when an owner buys a new piece of property, there's fear involved in that if they have never rented before.
Absolutely.
And when you hire a property manager, that level of uncertainty is removed because we have this down to a science. And so we're going to have you relax and enjoy the experience of having us manage your property.
Well, and don't you think it would be, if you're, even for people, obviously we've covered on the show and we'll continue to cover in more detail today, what an outstanding job you do for your property owners.
Thank you.
But wouldn't you say if someone's considering buying a rental property and they're nervous about it, to maybe meet with a prospective rental property manager to take out some of that fear?
Yes.
Ahead of time, before they actually own the house.
Well, and we do that for realtors. We give free rental analysis. So if a realtor is talking with a potential buyer to buy a rental property, we're happy to offer a courtesy service and talk to that buyer and tell them what we think we can get as a reasonable rental rate and what services we include.
Okay, and let's touch on that. What does it really mean to have a property manager? Can you tell us in more detail?
Well, a couple of really, really important things is to hire a professional property manager because we are required to be licensed by the state of South Carolina. Which is really important because we have the South Carolina Landlord-Tenant Act, which protects the rights of the owner and the tenant. So if you hire a professional company to do this for you, you don't have to worry about meeting the requirements of the law and making sure that the tenants are well taken care of so that they take care of your home.
Absolutely. Now, specifically, what kind of services are included when you do hire a property manager?
When you hire a property manager, the first thing we do is we take some really good pictures of the house so that we can advertise, and all of our advertising is on the internet. And we get a lot of responses from that. Once we get our responses, we'll then qualify a tenant by making sure they can not only afford to live in the house, but if they have a good history of renting in the past. And after that, another important factor is that we do routine physical inspections while the tenant is in the house, so we can maintain the integrity of the house while the tenant is living there.
Okay.
And of course, we collect the rents, we handle all the repairs, and the best part about it is we send a check out monthly to the owner.
Well, I was just about to say, you handle all the headaches and they get the check. So it sounds like a perfect combination to me. I wish I could do that for my own household. Now, speaking of that, can people rent out their own homes?
People can rent out their own homes.
I suppose is a better way to say it.
They can. If you buy a house and you think, oh, I can do this, I'll just put it on the internet and find my own tenant. And you can rent out your own home as long as you keep in mind the South Carolina Landlord-Tenant Act, which is very important, and also the fact that you have to qualify your tenants and make sure that they can live in your house and maintain the integrity of it. And doing a long distance is a little hard, handling the repairs and doing inspections to make sure that they're keeping up the house.
Absolutely.
But they can do it if they choose to.
Well, good. And, are there any specific things that people need to be aware of before they do, go ahead and rent that property?
Well, on Hilton Head, if you are going to rent out your own home and you have more than one rental property, you actually have to get a Hilton Head business license.
Oh, okay.
And if you're going to rent it out short term, you actually have to get what is called an accommodation tax account with the town because you have to pay taxes to the town if you're doing a rental for less than 90 days. And I'm going to get into that in more detail in the next segment that
Absolutely.
we do.
We'll touch on that next time. Well, Geri, thanks as usual. It's a pleasure to have you, and your clients are lucky. They're in great hands.
Thank you. I appreciate it.